Right. Now we're gonna take a little look at the terrain editor in SED4. So let's launch it and we'll create a little terrain map. Right, so new world. Before you do anything, we first need to save our level. So in SED4 levels, I'm gonna ensure that this is a campaign. I'm just gonna name it terrain work. Hit OK. Open this up and just save it right here. 01 terrain tutorial. You can name it however you like it. Contents SED4 levels 01 terrain work folder 01 terrain tutorial VLD. Perfect. Now we can go to terrain editor, and here we have an option. That's the size. Click on this arrow, move it around. Don't put the high values if you have a weak or mid-end computer. It won't work. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to put 2 kilometers. Biome config path, if you click here, you have various biomes. Siberia is going to be snowy, but I'm going to go with the default one of Western Europe. So hit OK. Just give it a second. There we go. File save. So it saved it perfectly fine. Right. Get out of the terrain editor, and this is how it looks like. So let's start painting. That's what we want to see probably. So we can just go back to terrain editor, go to elevation, and right where it says sculpt, brush mode, sculpt, we have these values. You can put opacity to 1 if you want it to be more intense. Hotspot is to make it less smooth. So by that I mean it's gonna raise it like this. With the left click, you see this blue sphere? That's the radius of your brush. So this makes it less smooth. But if you put it to 3, this makes it smoother. So it has like these bumps. This one has intense bumps because we use the hotspot of the same value of a fall off. So you can go crazy, like put 33 from 33 for instance, and you have like it like this. And if you want it to be smoother, you can just put 12 at the hotspot, left click, and there you go. It's making it smoother with the opacity of 1. Now if you put lower opacity, it's going to be less intense. So like 01, so you see here, it's less intense. And if you put back to 1, that's intense. And if you put it like in really high value, it's gonna get crazy. Let's see here. See? Okay, so let's save this. And the next thing we're gonna do, sample size to 1. Sample size makes it uneven. If you put higher values, as you see here, it's not as consistent, but it also gives different results. So mess around with all of these values, except for rendering options. Brush mode is depending on what you want to do. For instance, if you choose flatten, I'm gonna fall off maybe 12, hotspot 3. Flatten will reset the bumps to default height, as you see here. Oh, sorry about that, Control Z. We need to put max this to 1. There we go. Max sample size should be to 3, I recommend. Because if you have a high value, it's going to be inconsistent and a little bit confusing. As you see here, this is what flatten does. It creates this weird, interesting even effect that you can use to create maybe bumps like these. As you see here. Yep. Okay, so now let's start painting the materials. So if we go to materials, choose for instance like cliff, and we want the cliff to be here. As you see here, it painted the wrong texture, so Control Z. Now the painting is a bit problematic. You can either hold Shift, and if that doesn't work, hold Control. It will erase it. Shift will paint it, Control will erase it, and left click will paint the default material. So Shift. Keep in mind, this also applies to material. So if you want it to be more intense, use a hotspot to completely do it like this. The max, perhaps, sample size to 33 if you want it to be inconsistent. If I like it when it's 1, maybe set this to 3. Like that. Yeah. What if you want a custom texture? Well, for that, it's problematic. You'll have to use vanilla textures to paint like a path. Let me show you how. Before, keep in mind this is very buggy. So you first need to do open document, go to SED4 and type in the filter TMC. So the gravel will do just fine. It's gonna open the gravel. Actually, wait, no, close. File, open document, TMC, terrain material component, asphalt damaged, maybe. Yeah, see this? The texture near, it's local. Perfect, we can use this. So file, save as, go back, levels, terrain work. I'm gonna type in materials folder. Oops, materials. Okay, materials, terrain path, so we know what we're dealing with. Right. So we have this now. We can close this. And now make sure you're looking at the top, because if you do this from the bottom, you'll crash. So right click, browse new material, back, terrain work, terrain material, terrain path. Hit OK. And there you have it. This is the terrain path we added. As you see here, it paints. There we go. So now it's not Shift. Shift will paint the biomaterial, and left click will paint asphalt that we just added. Now to change this, Control S to save it. We double click on our terrain path where it says textures near. We color map. Actually, color map locate. These are all the textures you can use. Let's try with ground pebbles, maybe, or something more interesting. Forest roads, field, burn ground, autumn. Okay, we don't see anything interesting. There we go, cobblestone floor. That's more interesting. Hit OK, and there you have it. Now it looks low quality because we haven't set it up perfectly just yet. We have a color map of cobblestone floor, but the normal map is wrong. So we do the same thing, go back, choose, grounds, ground, there we go, cobblestone floor, normal map. Now it has more detail, so the height map goes to height map. AO roughness and reflectance map is ARM. And there you have it. Now we can mess with the values if you want. So let's go to textures again, color map, or let's see what we can mess around with. So you can mess around with coloring. As you see here. Yeah, the coloration works. I can mess around with the reflectance to make it. Ooh, this one looks interesting with these values. So just put it to one. Just don't put really high values. I don't recommend it. It's gonna be very inconsistent. So we have reflective cobblestone floor. Perfect. We can paint it more. Maybe reduce this to make it more interesting. You can like do it like this. By holding control, it will erase the materials like so. And there you have it. You now added a custom material. You always need to make sure you save it, because if you use just the default material from the folder of original Serious Sam, you're gonna overwrite it. And if somebody tries to load your level, either it won't work, or second, it will use different textures because on their computer they have a default material and you have modified one. This is why we went into DMC, saved it as in our project folder, and gave it a different name. And that is now properly saved and is residing in your project folder. Next we have vegetation and how to do this. Well, first off, since we're working with a lot of grass, terrain, trees, yeah, hotspot could be like this. All you have to do is just hold left mouse button and just keep messing with the brush like that. And if it's not satisfying enough, you can go with the higher values. There you go. And there you have it. You have trees in the forest. Next, we go back to elevation, choose erase. If you're working like a floating island, for instance, all I recommend doing is adding a big value, left click, left mouse holding, you'll erase it this. Problem is, the trees are floating, so we go to vegetation, hold control, and start erasing them, like so. See, it erased that. Elevation, sculpt, let's return to maybe more weaker values, and hold control to create a bumps. If you're not satisfied, we can do it like this, which is very choppy. Control Z to undo it. Or make it smoother by changing the hotspot. Yeah, that's much better. So for instance, this could be your little floating island. Like so. As you see here, we have like a little floating island. And that's all there is to it. I hope you learned something. This is what I wanted to show. I know I'm doing this a little fast because I don't like watching or doing very long videos. This is how you mess around with the materials, sculpting, vegetation adding. Just keep on holding Control Shift, either Control or Shift to switch between painting modes. And if that doesn't work, try Alt, because it's kind of a bit confusing, I know. But you'll get there, I believe in you. You'll manage. So that's all there's to it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.